In this mysterious video, I will talk about 11 amazing phrases that a truly intelligent person would never say. And the last of them will shock you. But before we launch into our list, let me share a magical story that will help you better understand the meaning of the lessons taught in this video. So, listen carefully, because it really deserves your passionate attention. Imagine a mysterious town where an old magical gardener lived, known for his unsurpassed gardens and profound life wisdom. He was consulted not only for extraordinary gardening advice, but also for his unique outlook on life. To impart his wisdom through the beauty of his gardens, a gardener once met an inquisitive young man who was cheerful and restless, wanting a unique piece of advice. The boy was full of incredible energy and easily found a common language with people in the village, but he felt that he lacked something deep that would add meaning to his life. After listening to him and carefully observing his behavior, the old man suggested that the young man spend an exciting week together, working in the garden. The only condition is to work silently at dawn every day. Every day, the old man imparted a wise life lesson through his quiet actions. Day 1: The power of silence. At dawn, the old man led the boy to a magical corner of the garden and showed him how to cut roses without saying a word. The silence seemed to hear more than any words. With his gestures, he seemed to teach that it is important to be present and observe the world around. Day 2: Wisdom and prudence. The next day, as they planted the new plants, the old man emphasized the importance of carefully selecting the location for each one. With a smile, he hinted that not everyone needs to know about your secret plans. Let your actions speak for you and do it wisely. Day 3: Development of the positive. On the third day, while watering the flowers, the old man showed how to keep the garden bright and blooming. Avoid sowing seeds of negativity, his actions seemed to say. Joy and gratitude in life are like the sun's rays that make every corner of your soul blossom. Day 4: Selfless generosity. On the fourth day, when they were feeding the birds, the old man noted that nature gives generously without expecting anything in return. These simple lessons will help you understand the value of what we say and do in our lives. True generosity does not seek recognition. Do good selflessly. Day 5: Compassion and understanding. On the fifth day, while tending to the tree, the old man emphasized the importance of a deep understanding of the needs of each plant and living being. Avoid talking about other people's mistakes. His look is full of wisdom, as if hinting that it is better to seek to understand and support than to condemn. Day 6: Confronting fears. On the sixth day, while working on the stone path, the old man showed how important it is to confidently overcome difficulties. Don't let fear stop you, his quiet presence said silently. He seems to be saying that courage allows us to find the inner strength to overcome our indomitable fears. Day 7: True wealth of the heart. On the last day, when they were silently watching the garden, the old man noticed its stunning beauty. Real wealth is not measured by gold and currency reserves. He seemed to indicate that the true wealth lies in our heart and in the relationships we develop. This story shows 7 things that should be kept to ourselves, not as secrets, but as the basis of a harmonious and respectful life. Other people's secrets, personal plans, complaints, good deeds, other people's shortcomings, our fears, and material goods. Now that we've learned these 7 important things, let's move on to 11 phrases that an experienced person will never say. But before we get started, if you enjoy this exciting content, please subscribe and hit the magic bell so you don't miss any new videos. So, let's start with the first: the spread of unpredictable gossip and rumors. Imagine that you are sitting in a cozy office with a cup of coffee and suddenly you hear, "Did you hear what happened to Maria?" The heart begins to beat faster and curiosity takes over. But wait, do you really need to know that? Gossip is like delicious sweets. It seems attractive at first, but later leaves an unpleasant aftertaste. And this is what wise people understand: gossip is a dangerous double-edged sword. Why are they so attractive to us? According to studies by the University of California, gossip takes up 65% of our conversations. That's a shocking number, isn't it? It turns out that we are dependent on them. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar argues that gossip helped our ancestors establish strong social bonds and share important information. But as in everything, measure is important. How to understand when we cross the line? Here are some indicators. First, if what you're about to say might make the other person feel uncomfortable, it's best to keep it to yourself. Second, if the information is not obtained firsthand, it may be better not to share it. Third, if you find yourself rejoicing in other people's troubles, it's time to stop and think. But let's be honest, sometimes the temptation is too great. It's like being told, don't think about the pink elephant, and of course that's the first thing that comes to mind. The main thing is to direct this energy in another direction. Instead of spreading rumors, why not share good news? As Socrates said, to have a good reputation, you need to be what you want to appear to be. Here are some exercises that will help you avoid the temptation of gossip. The first challenge for 7 days: the goal is not to say anything bad about others for 1 week. You'll be surprised how it will change your perspective. Second, change your focus. If someone tries to engage you in gossip, try to turn the conversation to something positive about that person. Third, conscious pause. Before you say anything, take a deep breath. These few seconds can be decisive whether you spread the rumor or not. Fourth, ask questions. Instead of taking gossip for granted, ask how the person knows it and if they have spoken to the person directly. If you do fall into the trap of false gossip, don't beat yourself up. We are all human. It is important to recognize the problem and work on it. As Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. Number 2, hasty words. Have you ever felt like words are coming out of your mouth before your brain can process them? It can happen to anyone, but the truly wise have mastered the art of strategic silence. Let's explore the world of rush words and learn how to avoid them. As the Greek philosopher Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth to listen twice as much as to speak. And he was right. Harvard University research has shown that people who think before they speak are perceived as wiser. Who would have thought that silence had such power? How not to say those hasty words that you later regret? Here's a tip before you speak, especially in tense situations: pause and count to 5. It sounds simple, but those 5 seconds can make the difference between a thoughtful response and an impulsive comment you'll regret for a long time. Imagine that you are in a heated argument with your partner. You are ready to say something hurtful, but you stop and count to 5. During this time, your brain will be able to process the situation more rationally, allowing you to give a mature and constructive response that can save your relationship. This is the power of the same 5 seconds. However, it's not just about counting to 5. Developing what psychologists call mindfulness means becoming a conductor of your own thoughts and emotions. By practicing mindfulness, you become more aware of your thoughts and words before they even leave your mouth. It's like a quality filter for your thoughts. Daniel Goleman, author of the book Emotional Intelligence, notes that people with high emotional intelligence possess this ability. So if you want to avoid hasty words, you should work on your emotional intelligence. Another useful technique is the abbreviation think. Where D, authenticity is what you are about to say true. Why success, are your words useful? M, reasoning, is it important to share this now? A, adequacy, are your words benevolent? Why vibrance, will what you say motivate or inspire? If what you're about to say doesn't meet at least 3 of these criteria, you might want to refrain from saying it. This is a kind of internal ethics committee for your words. Remember that words have great power. They can build bridges or create barriers, heal or hurt, inspire to greatness or cause doubt. As Mark Twain said, the difference between the right word and the almost right word is like the difference between lightning and a firefly. So the next time you feel like the words are about to tumble out of your mouth, remember to breathe, count to 5, practice mindfulness, use your emotional intelligence, and apply the think filter. This will help you maintain harmony in relationships at work and in the soul. Number 3, intimate financial details. Your bank account is like a safe deposit box full of valuables. Would you share his combination with anyone who asks for it? Of course not. When it comes to money, caution is not only wise, but also elegant. As Warren Buffett said, never tell anyone how much you make. He was right. Sharing financial details is like inviting everyone you know into your wallet so they can take a peek inside. But do you really want that? A University of Chicago study found that people who keep their finances private tend to have healthier and less conflicted relationships. And it is not surprising. Think about how many times you've seen how someone's attitude changed after their income became known. Keeping financial matters confidential not only protects you from jealousy and conflict, but also helps you avoid scammers and opportunists. It's like wearing an invisible bulletproof vest. No one knows you have it on, but it protects you. This doesn't mean you have to turn into a mystery man. The key is in the balance. Share financial information only when necessary, such as with your partner or financial advisor, but keep personal details to yourself. Speaking of personal data, did you know that even the most famous celebrities guard their financial secrets diligently? Tom Hanks once joked that if he told me how much he made, he would have to hire bodyguards to protect his wallet. Although it was a joke, there is some truth in it. What if someone tries to get you to share your financial information? There is a simple but effective technique to change the subject. For example, pay attention to something completely foreign, like a squirrel in a tree. It may seem basic, but sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. Also learn the art of subtle avoidance. Questions about money can be answered vaguely, for example, enough to live comfortably or I am grateful for what I have. These are answers that preserve your privacy without coming across as rude. Remember, your financial situation is like your personal space. It should be kept away from prying eyes. A reasonable person knows that intimate financial details should be kept secret. Not only does this help you protect yourself, but it also keeps you in control of your financial history. So the next time someone tries to dig into your verbal wallet, remember protecting your finances is not only smart, it's smart. Number 4, provocations. Have you ever been in a tense situation where your blood boils and you are ready to blurt out harsh words? Wait. Before we fall into the trap, let's find out why smart people avoid provocations like broccoli on a plate. Imagine that provocations are intrusive advertising during your favorite show. What are you doing changing the channel, right? This is how intelligent people deal with provocations. They simply change the subject. But why is it so important to avoid verbal traps? Our brain is wired to respond to provocations as a threat. It's like hearing a warning caution. Tiger in the jungle. The instinct of self-defense kicks in and you are ready to attack. But this is where emotional intelligence comes in handy. It works like a superpower that allows you to see people's true intentions. Emotionally intelligent people know that insecurity, pain, or boredom are often hidden behind provocations. They have a kind of X-ray that sees the emotions of others. Don't think that avoiding provocation makes you weak. On the contrary, it requires more strength than giving in. It's like giving up the last slice of pizza when you're on a diet. You'll feel like a winner later. How can this be applied in everyday life? The next time someone tries to pick on you, imagine yourself as a duck. Yes, a duck. Why? Because the water runs off the duck without leaving any traces. In the same way, the teasing should flow from you without touching. Another powerful method is the use of humor. It is like a shield that repels provocations. Respond to teasing with a light joke. This will not only disarm the provocateur, but also diffuse the atmosphere. It's like being a comedy ninja in the midst of a verbal battle. Remember that every time you avoid provocations, you are exercising your emotional muscles. It's like going to the gym for your brain. Best of all, you don't have to lift weights or sweat. Just keep calm and smile. So the next time someone tries to pick on you, remember you're smarter than that. Keep calm, smile, and move on. Your future self will thank you for it. Before you go to the 5th point, if you like the video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. If you, like me, love to absorb knowledge, let's continue the exciting learning together and make our lives better. Number 5. Privacy on social media. Have you ever wondered what a good idea it is to share all the intimate details of your life on social media? Think of your life as a fortress and social networks as windows into this house. Do you want everyone to be able to look inside? Probably not, but that's what happens when we share too many personal details about our lives online. Don't worry, we're not here to demonize social media. These are incredible tools if used wisely. The key is the balance between information sharing and protection. Even tech-savvy people are cautious about what they post on the internet. Many limit their activity in social networks, understanding the risks better than others. Think of your posts as digital tattoos. Once you post something, it can stay there forever, and that awkward selfie from the party can come back later in your job interview. But there are smart ways to use social media without sacrificing privacy. For example, have you considered having separate profiles for your personal and professional life? It's like two different closets, one for work, one for rest. And now let's talk about parole. Yes, it may not be the most interesting topic, but trust me, a strong password is like a good deodorant. You don't think about its importance until you need it. Use unique and complex combinations for each account. And please, the password 123,456 is not considered secure. Another point to remember is geolocation. Marking your exact locations in a photo can be useful, but do you want everyone to know where you are? It's like carrying a navigator on your back and giving control to strangers. Speaking of strangers, how many of your social media friends do you really know? It's easy to fall into the trap of accumulating contacts like trading cards, but remember that each new friend is another window into your life. And finally, don't forget the famous privacy policy. Yes, the long, boring one that no one reads. Start by reading the privacy policies, or at least look for their concise summaries. It's like checking the ingredients before consuming a product, but for your digital life. Using social media wisely isn't about living in fear or disappearing from the internet. It's about awareness and control. Think about it before you post anything. Choose who you share with carefully and keep your personal data as securely protected as your toothbrush. Number 6. Lies. Have you ever wondered why some people keep getting into trouble? Today we will consider one of the most dangerous habits: lying. It's like a little word juggle that may look innocent but can turn into a huge snowball rolling down the slope. Imagine building a house of cards. Every lie is a new card. At first, the building seems stable, but with each new lie it becomes more and more shaky. And you know what happens to houses of cards: one breath and it all comes crashing down. We've all sometimes resorted to a little lie for the sake of good. For example, yes, Mom, I ate all the vegetables, or of course I like this shirt. But there is a big difference between such innocent lies and when lies become a part of life. A lie is like a cheap perfume. At first, it can hide the unpleasant smell, but in the end, the truth always comes out. And believe me, no one wants to be around someone who reeks of dishonesty. Why do we lie? Sometimes it is due to fear, conflict avoidance, or a desire to simplify the situation. But a wise person understands that being honest, even if it's inconvenient, pays off in the end. A relationship can be compared to a bank account. Every honest act is a deposit, every lie is a withdrawal. And if you keep lying, eventually you will be left without any trust. That doesn't mean you have to turn into a lie detector. Emotional intelligence is important in helping you decide when to be honest and when to remain silent. For example, if your friend asks if you like his new haircut and it looks terrible, you might not want to go into detail. A simple answer like "there are other options" will suffice. It is important to find a balance between honesty and kindness. As someone once said, truth without tact is cruelty, and tact without truth is hypocrisy. So the next time you're tempted to lie, ask yourself, is it worth the risk of losing your integrity? Are you ready to bear this burden? Because like a suitcase at the airport, a lie is always harder than it seems, and you will have to pay more for it than you expect. Number 7. Empty commitments. Imagine the situation: you are asked to help move next weekend, and you reluctantly agree, even though you know you already have other plans. Familiar? You have just fallen into the trap of empty commitments. Empty commitments are like bad checks. At the time of issuance, they look convincing, but when it comes time to execute, there is nothing behind them. Just as bad checks can create financial problems, empty promises can damage your relationship. Breaking promises can lead to mistrust. Why do we often fall into this trap? Our brains are programmed for social approval. Saying yes sometimes seems like the easiest way to please others, but it can lead to problems in the long run. Think of your brain as a trust bank. Every time you make a promise, you're making a deposit into another person's trust account. If you don't keep your word, that's a big draw, and like any bank, if you get too many draws, you're at a loss. How to avoid the trap of empty commitments? Here are some tips. Think before you speak. Before you make a promise, ask yourself, can you deliver? Learn to say no. An honest no is better than an empty yes. This is an important skill that will help you avoid trouble. Be realistic about your time. You are not a superhero. You have limitations, so plan accordingly. Communicate clearly. If you're not sure you can do something, be honest about it. People are here, not your transparency. Keep your word. If you made a promise, do your best to keep it. Your reputation will thank you. Wise people understand that promises are serious commitments, not just words. They can make or break a relationship. In the business world, keeping promises is also very important. As Warren Buffett said, it takes 20 years to build a reputation, and you can destroy it in 5 minutes. Reputation has a lot to do with whether you deliver on your promises. Therefore, before you promise something, remember your words have weight. They don't just disappear into thin air, they are anchors that connect you to others. A smart person carefully approaches his obligations. He does not promise the moon and stars, knowing that he will hardly be able to offer even a candle. Instead, he makes fewer promises, but always keeps them. This will help you build a strong reputation and reliable relationships. Number 8. Making fun of others. Imagine a world where laughter does not come at the expense of others. It may seem like a utopia, but we are much closer to it than we think. Ridicule says more about the person laughing than about the person being laughed at. Think of the last time you laughed at someone. What did you really feel? Maybe a sense of superiority or insecurity. Psychology teaches that ridicule is often a defense mechanism, a way to hide one's own fears or insecurities. If I laugh at them, no one will laugh at me. But what if there was a better way to protect yourself? Truly wise people have discovered a secret. Compassion is the new power. Instead of mocking, they put themselves in the other person's shoes. You don't need to be a genius for this, just be willing to look deeper. What if someone makes fun of you? This is where Stoic wisdom comes in handy. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, had great advice. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In other words, when someone makes fun of you, the best response is not to make fun of them. Imagine the situation: someone makes a mocking comment about your clothes. Instead of being defensive or embarrassed, you smile and reply, "Thanks for the compliment, I like experimenting with style." It neutralizes the situation with grace and confidence. But why not go even further? Instead of simply reacting defensively, use this moment to develop patience, understanding, and self-control. Every provocation is an opportunity to train these qualities. It's like a free emotional gym, and you have constant access to it. We're not saying you need to become indifferent. It's okay to feel uncomfortable with being teased, but it's how you manage your emotions that matters. Smart people know that emotions are just temporary clouds in their inner sky, and you shouldn't react to every one of them. And this is where the magic begins. When you stop laughing at others, the world around you begins to change. People feel more comfortable with you, and conversations become deeper and more meaningful. It's like moving to a new level in the game called life. Remember, this doesn't mean you have to lose your sense of humor. Laughter is still great medicine, but the difference is laughing with others, not at them. So the next time you feel like provoking someone, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what would a really smart person do in this situation? You may be surprised at your answer. Number 9. Respect for beliefs and religion. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone questioned your beliefs? Imagine you are in a conversation with a group of people and someone starts criticizing your faith. How do you react? Are you defensive like a cornered cat, or do you approach a situation with the calmness of a Buddhist monk? The answer may surprise you. Wise people understand that religious beliefs are like ice cream flavors. Everyone has their favorite, and none of them is objectively better than the other. Instead of trying to convince someone that vanilla is better, you should respect the choice of those who like chocolate or pistachios. Why is respect so important? Religious beliefs are often deeply rooted in our personality. One study found that when people talk about religion, the same areas of the brain that are responsible for personal identity are activated. When you criticize someone's religion, it is like telling a person that their face is ugly. No wonder people get defensive. Wise people understand that real power lies in curiosity, not judgment. Instead of preaching, they ask questions and listen like spiritual detectives, but without the hat and magnifying glass. Imagine that you are faced with a person whose beliefs are very different from yours. Instead of telling her she's wrong, say, "I wonder if you could tell me more about that." You'd be surprised how a simple question can turn a potential conflict into an interesting conversation. The trick is that wise people not only respect the beliefs of others, but also see value in them. Each religion is a unique piece of the great cosmic universe trapdoors. Maybe this piece doesn't quite fit your personal picture, but it adds color and depth to the overall picture. So the next time you find yourself in an argument about religion, remember it's not about winning the debate, it's about reaching a mutual understanding. You may find more in common with this person than you thought. We are all on this crazy journey called life, trying to make sense of the world. Wise people treat religious beliefs with the same care and respect as they treat a rare find such as a dinosaur egg, with curiosity, perhaps even wonder. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you believe in one God, many gods, or no belief at all. The main thing is how you treat other people. Number 10. Intelligent management of dissatisfaction and complaints. Have you ever felt like work is just eating you up from the inside and you want to run away? Imagine that your work is like a pressure cooker. If you leave it on the fire without attention, what will happen? That's right, it will explode, and there will be chaos everywhere. Your complaints are steam building up, so the question is how to release the pressure in a controlled way. Begin by taking a deep breath. Before voicing your complaint, take a moment to collect yourself. Did you know that just 60 seconds of deep breathing can significantly reduce your stress levels? It's almost like a superpower that helps you stay calm instead of exploding. Now think about it, do you really need to share this complaint? Sometimes, yes, you need to let off steam, and that's okay. But in other cases, complaints only make the situation worse. It's like scratching a mosquito bite. At first it seems to help, but then the itching gets worse. If you decide that your comments really need to be expressed, turn them into constructive suggestions. Instead of "I hate this project," say, "I think we could improve the project if." See the difference? It's like turning lemons into lemonade, only on a professional level. It is also important to choose the right person to discuss problems with. Your best friend at work might be a great conversation partner for office gossip, but that doesn't mean they're the best person to handle work-related matters. Find someone who can really make a difference. It's like choosing the right doctor for a specific problem. You don't go to the dentist if you have back pain. Don't forget that constant complaining can be contagious, and not in the best way. It's like an emotional cold that permeates the office, making everyone sneeze from negativity. No one wants to work in such an atmosphere. So instead of complaining about something you can't change, offer a solution. If something is bothering you, try to address it directly by talking to the person. It's like being the captain of a ship in a storm. You can't control the storm, but you can steer your ship. And if nothing works, remember that there is always an option to find another job. Sometimes the best solution is a change of scenery, like changing the channel when you don't like a movie. There's no need to keep watching something you don't enjoy. Now we turn to the last topic, the management of confidential information. We're not saying you need to become a man of silence, but it's important to know what's appropriate to share and what's best to keep to yourself. Maintaining confidentiality not only helps others, but also enhances your own reputation. You become someone who is trusted, and that is more valuable than any treasure. This is a real social superpower. The next time someone trusts you with a secret, imagine that you have received a fragile crystal. If you handle it carefully, it will continue to shine, but if you drop it, it will shatter into 1,000 pieces, and it will be almost impossible to restore it. Wise people understand that secrets are like bubbles. They are magical while they exist, but once they burst, they disappear forever. So be someone you can trust. In the game of life, the one who knows how to keep secrets not only wins, but also earns the respect of those around him. If you're still here, leave the phrase emotional well-being in the comments. Support the video by liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you don't miss new content. Share the video with those who may benefit from it. Thank you for your support. Hugs and see you next time.